classic. I used to be friends with a girl called Diane Smythe.
Yeah.
And my pal, Johnny Lambert, his nickname was Whiskers, was going out for a while. And her father's name was Ron Smith, and he was a massive horse race trainer in Epsom.
Yeah.
And we used to get the most unbelievable tips, like unbelievable. Anyway, one year they had a horse running in the Cesarewitch called Flash Imp, okay?
Yeah.
And they thought that this could win. So all the boys at Barnet backed it. I mean, even people that never had a bet were having like £1 on it and £2. Anyway, it won at 28-1, right? And we had two big gambles at Barnet. We had Ricky George and we had another player called Ian Fusedale, who used to work for a watch company in Farringdon, right near Farringdon Station, in Hatton Garden, called Shacks Romback.
Yeah.
And I used to get my watches off them. So they were big gamblers. Anyway, 2 weeks later, there was a race running called the Manchester November Handicap, right? And I'd had a couple of quid each way double, Flash Imp, and they had a horse running in it called Only for Joe. I even remember the jockeys. Flash Imp was Terry Kane. Only for Joe was Ian Jenkins, right?
Yeah.
And all the boys had backed it. And Ian Fusedale stood to earn enough money to buy a new house. And Ricky George was going to have enough money to rip his whole kitchen out and build a whole new kitchen. They were desperate for this horse to win. Yeah. Now, on the day, there was a trainer called Staff Ingham, who was also at Epsom. And I got a call from Diane to say that Staff Ingham had a horse running first time over hurdles. I'll never forget this, called, and this is going back to the early 70s, right? Yeah. The horse was called Legal Tender, and the jockey was Jimmy Utley. Yeah. And they really fancied it. So then what I've done, I've backed Legal Tender, and I'll never forget the price as well, 7-2. And I've took 14-1 about Only for Joe, but Only for Joe originally in our bets was 18-1 anti-post, right? So we are playing that day Kettering. Who's manager of Kettering? Ron Atkinson.
Right.
Right now, I can't play. I've said to the manager, Gordon Ferry, I can't play. I've got to stay at home. So now, none of the boys want to play. They've all had like 10 and 12 quids on, which was fortunes for them. None of them want to play. But Ian Fusedale and Ricky George go. When Ian Fusedale gets there, he says to Brian Ferry, I don't want to play. There's 14 players travelled, right? Ian Fusedale was our right back. He said, I don't want to play. So Gordon Ferry said, well, we haven't got another right back. We've got two left backs. And one was called Dave Bibby. He said, well, fucking play Dave Bibby right back. He said, because I want to listen to the race on the radio. 3:35 the race was. I'll never fucking forget this. I will never, ever, ever forget it. Right? So they've got to play the game. Sorry, it was at Nuneaton.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was at Nuneaton. Yeah? So they've got to play the game at Nuneaton, and I'm watching on the telly. And the first one to run was over hurdles, was Legal Tender. It was a chestnut horse, huge horse with a big white sheepskin noseband. It fucking bolted up 7-2. It absolutely bolted up. Now I'm waiting for Only for Joe. So you got Ricky George is playing, all the boys are playing. Ian Fusedale's in the dugout, right? With his radio, listening to the race at 3:35, and I'm at home. Anyway, I'm watching the race, and this fucking horse ain't got to mention. I swear to God, if you go and have a look on your iPad, and you look up Only for Joe, Manchester November Handicap was about 1973 or 74, right? Yep. You go and have a look at that race, and I'm telling you, Terry Kane rode it, and I'll even tell you the colours. The colours were like a maroon and light blue stripes, yeah? And it's not in the fucking picture. And the commentator is commentating away, and there's the horse ain't there, and I'm looking going, where's the horse? All of a sudden he's gone. Coming down the centre of the course is Ian Jenkinson and Only for Joe, and they've pulled the camera back. All of a sudden he's come into picture, and from not being anywhere because you can't see him, he's about half a length behind the horse in front. And they've gone coming inside the final furlong. It's so being joined by Only for Joe. Only for Joe's gone on, it's gone a neck clear, it's gone half a length clear, and he's won it. It's won half a length. Now, I don't know, obviously, what's happening at Nuneaton, but they tell me after the game, I get a phone call from the bar. They're in the bar after the game. So, because obviously no mobiles in, they phone me and tell me what's happening. When it's won, Ian Fusdale has fucking screamed, gone to jump out the dugout and hit his head on the fucking dugout, right? He's then gone on the pitch and he's gone, yes. The game, I swear to God, this is true, the game stopped. All the players are running around the fucking pit, jumping on top of each other. The referee and the other team and the supporters, 2,500 people at Nuneaton, no one has got a clue what's going on. And Ricky George says to me, the next minute, we're all on the floor, the lot of us, rolling around, kissing and hugging each other. I swear to God, that is true. I swear to God.
Fucking hell.
Then we go training on the Tuesday night. As I walk in the dressing room, the boys, to a man, were cheering me. They were clapping and cheering me. And Ian Fusdale come up. He said, this is a present from the boys. And the company he had, Schatz Rombach, they did a watch called a Record, yeah?
Yeah.
And they bought me, between them, this solid gold watch, 18-carat gold watch. And they gave me it as a present for the horse that I give them. Never, ever forget that. Diane Smythe. And then a few weeks later, she gave us a horse called Sin Y Sin, S-I-N, then a gap, then a Y, then another gap, and then S-I-N. The boys, who had never had a bet, were having fucking 50 quid off. So you've got to remember, we was only on like 10, 12 quid a week, and they were having 50s and 60s. Ian Fusdale's in the process of buying a new. Ricky George is in the process of having all of his kit redone. And they're all getting estimates and fucking whatever, and they've backed it. They've all put in so much money. I thought, please let this win. Please let it win. It fucking bolted up. This Terry Kane rode it. It absolutely bolted up. And about a week later, my pal, Johnny Lambert, his nickname was Whiskers, he packed her up, Diane Smythe. They had a row, and we never got another fucking horse. He never got another horse. I swear to you, that's true. Johnny Lambert, Whiskers, his name was. And they tell me he's still alive. About 4 or 5 years ago, someone said to me, do you know a fella called John Lambert? I said, well, there was a fella called John Lambert who died, and he had a son called John Lambert who had a nickname Whiskers. And this bloke went, oh, my God, Whiskers, he was talking about you the other day. I went, is he still alive? And they went, alive? Yeah, he's got a car showroom in East Ham, and he could not stop talking about you. How unbelievable is that? I mean, that is like unbelievable. Some of the things, honestly, some of the things that have happened to me, even my daughter said, Dad, things have happened to you that if you didn't know they were real, you'd say they're even too much to put in a story, you know?